The following may contain language that is not suitable for all audiences.
It's time for the Low Fact Podcast. Anyway, before I was so rudely interrupted yesterday, I will go on to talk about what I was going to talk about originally. And what I was going to say is, the elections, voting is important, but the elections aren't as important as we like to think that they are. It's what we, as the voting public, the people that don't matter. And, I'll just say this right now, as an aside. I'm sure there are plenty of people listening, or maybe there aren't, but I'm sure there are people that are listening that feel like they haven't done anything or not lived up to their potential or feel like failures or feel like stuff's not going the way that it's supposed to go for them, right?
A big lot. That's a high percentage.
Well, I will make you this guarantee, and I'm not saying it to make you feel any better, although if it does, I'm glad. I can pretty much, with a 99% degree of certainty, tell you that no matter how much of a failure you are or think you are, or how not, how far below your potential you are living or think you're living, you are probably not living. You are probably doing a better job than I am. I can say that with a 99% degree of certainty that 99.99% of the people that are listening or are out there are doing better in their life than I am.
Oh.
And I'm saying if it makes you feel better, I'm glad. If it doesn't, well, it wasn't supposed to, so whatever. Now, back to what I was talking about. I think that we do need to have, let me back up a little bit. People talk about, or the pundits or whatever, right? There are people that sit there and say that there needs to be more engagement in the local, in your local.
Yeah, I watched a stripper video from one of the states where that's what they were saying in the political ad.
Get more involved in local politics and your local government?
Yeah, all the strippers, saying that, yeah.
Well, we should listen to the strippers. I mean, I'm actually...
I thought the political ad was actually pretty good.
Anyway, I didn't see it, and I'm going to take your word for it.
Yeah.
But... because I've kind of come up on that myself, and I think that a lot of the ills that people say there are in society right now, lack of connection, lack of community, people feeling isolated, a lot of the stuff that people say are going wrong. Mm-hmm. This is one of the things that can help it go better.
Engagement.
Well, engaging in your local government. Yeah. Even if it's just attending city council meetings, which I'm gonna be doing. My local city council is doing them telephonically, so, I can do them in my pajamas, but I would much rather go out and sit in and talk and whatever.
Are you really gonna do that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's surprising to me. I don't know why.
Well, I haven't been, but why complain about stuff?
This is
if you're not doing anything. It's like
because it's easier to complain.
Okay.
And say,
it
those
is
people.
It is, but I have no sympathy for you.
Well, they'll say, or we need to do something.
Oh, I hate those people.
And
I absolutely do.
There's lots of stuff you can do.
I hate those people. I hate the people sitting there. And hate's a strong word. I know it is. And it's, it's probably not a sentiment that I should have, but I really hate it when someone's sitting there like, oh, we should do this. So I'm like, why are you saying we? You're not doing it. What you're saying is I should do this and you should sit on your fat ass and do nothing.
Oh, shit.
Why don't you come out and say what you mean? You should do this. You frickin' liar. We should do. I remember years ago when I was in college, some guy was sitting there going, we need to send the Marines out to the former Yugoslavia to stop all this ethnic cleansing. I'm like, what is this we business? You're not joining the Marines and going.
What did he say?
Well,
exactly.
Exactly. It's just like that. it's just like that Dinesh D'Souza thing where some kid's talking about, oh, there's not enough spots for minority people. And he's like, well, why are you here then?
Why don't you give up your spot?
Yeah.
The kid was like, oh.
Yeah, and he, I felt bad for the kid, but I mean, that's like, why are you sitting there talking about we need to do more for this? Like, you're the one soaking up all the resources. Why don't you give up some of your resources?
That'll never happen.
Mr. Jack Dorsey, Mr. Zuckerberg, Mr. Everyone that's a millionaire.
Or a billionaire.
Bernie Sanders. You know the funny thing about Bernie Sanders?
What?
He used to talk about how you got to stop. You get the millionaires are taking this, the millionaires that. He became a millionaire, so now it's like the billionaires this, the millionaires that.
What happens if he becomes a billionaire?
He's going like the trillionaires this, the trillionaires that. But yeah, so back to my thing. I think if you engage in local government, and that's where I was going with the teachers talking about how they really didn't like the parents from the more affluent neighborhoods.
Because I didn't want them getting involved.
Because they're a pain in the butt. When they're talking about my kid this, my kid that. But I was wondering, I never asked them this because it never occurred to me when they were saying it, were these parents a pain in the butt because they were entitled assholes? Or were they a pain in the butt because they were trying to help out their kids? Because I think
I think it's probably both.
No, I think it's different. I think it's different.
Both.
No. I think it's easy and nice to say it's both, but it's really A.
It's
because they're entitled assholes. But you go ahead and say why you think it's both.
Because there could be the parent that truly is wanting their kid to do good, right?
You think that there's a parent out there that truly does not want their kid to do well?
Well, no, they do want their kids to do well.
Yeah. So that's a non-topic right there.
That's part of the entitlement.
No, the entitlement is you need to do this for me. You need to do that for me. You need to give my kid an extra break. Why are you doing this? That my kid doesn't. What's the word? Doesn't react well to this, or my kid doesn't like that.
It sound like your brain broke. Doesn't.
My brain is broken. Like I said, 99.99%, 99 something percent of the people out there probably better than me, or not doing as badly. Now, I'm very fortunate, but that's because that has nothing to do with my skills or me. So let's not get that confused. Yes, I'm a very privileged person, and I'm not 25 cents, I'm not 30 cents away from a quarter or anything, or, but, all the stuff I got has nothing to do with my abilities. Proof positive. So if you have a job pumping gas. Well, nobody has a job pumping gas anymore. If you have a job delivering food, or you think that your job is just crap because you get minimum wage, let me tell you something, brother. You're still doing better than me. But going back, yes, I think more engagement in your local government would probably make things better with government. Because let's face it, your local government controls just about everything in your life. And, you're engaged in your local government. Well, all of a sudden you're going to be knowing what's going on with your state government. And that's all you need. Everything else is really an offshoot of that. Even with the change in the laws in 1913, not only did they create the IRS, boo, but, they changed the way senators got voted in.
See, but it just seems like a lot of people, they would rather sit there on the sidelines and just complain.
Yeah, and
than spend time.
Hey,
doing all that stuff.
Hey, that's fine, but you know what? If you sit on your butt and talk about how hungry you are, and you're not related to me, and I don't know you, I'm going to let you starve to death and not feel bad about it. Now, if that's the feeling, then why should I feel bad about someone who's just complaining about stuff and not doing anything? Of course, the counter argument to that is, what if they are and they can't? Tough luck. Because that's BS.
What part's BS?
What if they've tried and they can't? No, they thought about it, thought about how daunting it will be, and decided, I should give up. When on the flip side, right? This is my counter argument to what's the point thing. You're always like, well, if that's going to happen, what's the point? That's why I always say, well, you're going to die. What's the point of keeping on living then?
Yeah, I hate it when you say that.
I know you do. I know you do, because I hate it just as much, if not more, when you sit there and go, well, what's the point of doing this? That's what's going to happen. That is quite annoying. It is more annoying than me telling you, why continue living if you're going to die anyway.
Well, it's just...
You didn't think it from my perspective, did you?
Your perspective on people.
You didn't think it from my perspective, did you?
No.
It's not that annoying when I say, what's the point?
No, not at all. I'm not annoying, so...
I didn't say you're annoying, did I? I said that statement was annoying.
I don't...
Why? You went to law school and you know how to interpret statutes. Why do you always do it backward?
What do you mean?
You can't go from this. You can go only from the general to the specific, not from the specific to the general.
That's just my style.
Well, your style is like bizarro. It's bizarre. It's bizarro law. Let's take one specific point and then just explode it out to the general. It's the other way around.
I know you had it when I find one exception. I'm like, aha!
But
This proves my point.
I don't.
And you're like, I'm not talking about the one exception.
Yeah, I don't hate it, because with our chosen profession, there are exceptions. There are always exceptions, but there's only supposed to be a handful.
What if the exceptions like tip the balance? Then it's no longer an exception.
That's not an exception.
Yeah.
An exception is that thing that you got here way out in left field that you're like, yeah, that's not right. So, we need to account for that. And there should only be like a handful. There shouldn't be more exceptions than you have fingers, in my book. Now, are there going to be times when there are? You betcha. And,
So so if people need to get engaged,
they don't need
they
to.
should get engaged.
There you go. I believe that they should get engaged.
Then how do you it's not about making people get engaged.
No. And I fully realize that, right, for 80 to 90% of us, the best we can hope for is that we're just not smart. Right? So, just because you get engaged, it's like the whole firearms thing. Just because you can own a gun doesn't mean you should. Mm-hmm. Just because you can vote doesn't mean you should. Just because you can't engage doesn't mean you should. What I'm saying is, yeah, there are a lot of people out there that are just not firing on all 8 cylinders, dumber than a box of hammers. What's another great quote that anyway, I can't think of the colloquialisms of my youth. But yeah, there's going to be there are and will be tons of people that are going to want to get involved that have no business getting involved.
But at least they're getting involved.
I don't know. I mean, being a results oriented person, would I want the clumsiest person in the world, or even worse, someone with advanced stage Parkinson's to be my surgeon?
No.
Exactly. So,
So a whole lot of people getting engaged is not necessarily going to make things better then.
No, that's actually going to make things worse in many instances.
Then what's the point?
So, maybe
I'm just kidding. That was a joke.
Yeah, and then the counter argument to that joke is maybe someone should push the button and get rid of all of us.
Right.
I mean, we're going to go extinct anyway, right? As a species.
Eventually.
Yeah, so let's head it off. I'm pretty sure that there's tons of environmentalists who are like, well, yeah, that'd be much better for the Earth, right?
Yeah, but not them, though.
Because they're not one of us?
Well, they're not part of the problem because they're trying to make things better and do good. That's
the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
I'm just saying that's...
I'm sure that that's the argument that they're...
that's what they're thinking.
Right, but I'm sure... I know you're taking the position of that's the argument, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm saying that's the dumbest argument I've ever heard. I need to be given a pass because, I'm trying to do good. I was chasing after this guy who stole some old lady's purse and happened to punt some baby across the street and got ran over by a car. So, I should be given a pass because I'm trying to do good. Oh, I'm trying to do good, but, I'm clumsy. And so, I tripped and, somehow this building collapsed. But, hey, I should be all right because I'm trying to do good. Or I was helping some woman across the street and I tripped and I busted out the windshield of your car. Sorry, bro. I'm all right? You're not going to expect me to pay for it because I'm trying to do good. Now, the flip side of that, I don't know that I like very much either. I was trying to do bad, but I'm so inept.
That I did good.
No, I'm so inept. I tried to beat someone to death, but I'm so inept. All I ended up doing was like they were choking, and I hit them on the back and was able to dislodge the food that they were choking on. It came flying out of their mouth and saved them. Right? You should give me a medal. I guess I'm taking the long route and stupid route to talk about how like me the whole idea of intention to me is just not quite there. I don't know.
I'm big on intention.
I think most people are too. I mean,
because I'm kind of like in the camp of like if I'm trying to do good.
Well, everybody's big on intention. If
it's not my fault if things.
Right. If everybody's big on intention, if it's their intent to do something, it turns sour.
Yeah.
So going back, no, look, the sad thing is there are no answers to anything, or at least there are no 100% solutions like we've talked about before.
Mm-hmm.
So, right, what are you prepared to accept? And that's an inherently personal question, and me being more for the individual than the group, I think everyone needs to kind of think about it for themselves. Hope to whatever it is you hope to. If you believe in a deity, hope to that deity. If you're a weirdo and worship yourself as a god, that's right. I called you guys that worship yourselves weirdos. Then, hope you have the wherewithal to make yourself really smart. There's decisions that you got to make for yourselves. And, there's no 100% solution. So deal with it.